Lock in with Vito.
Okay, we live in the crib, vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube at Vibing with Vito. Also follow us on the Instagram at Vibing with Vito. Also follow us on Monday nights at 8 o'clock on the Big Facts Network. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher and we chasing purpose over popularity. Today I have somebody in the building that I've been wanting to interview since 2024.
Yeah.
So we finally, I guess we manifested this.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love the intro. I'm all about high vibes.
Yeah,
What's up? I'm Sexton.
That's what's up. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, for sure. All my social media and my streaming is Sexton. Sexton.
For sure. So we hear an accent. Like I said before we started rolling, the accent is from where?
It's a melting pot at this point.
Okay.
But I was born in a city called Perth on the west coast of Australia. So that's where I was born. But I've lived in the States for some years. So I feel like, along the way, it's kind of twisted and turned into a gumbo pot of all different accents.
I hear like a southern draw with it.
Man, people cannot guess. They're like, where you from? New York? Because like when I say car or water, people think Boston.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are like, you British? Like no one knows. So it's everywhere.
Nah, that's dope. Again, thank you for coming to vibe with me.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody that sits on this couch, I have the honor to ask them this question. Now I have the honor to ask you. How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
How big would I dream if I knew I couldn't fail? I feel like I know already that I'm not going to fail. I have a mentality, if you don't try, you're already failing.
Yeah,
and the fact that I'm trying, I feel like, me personally, I'm not going to fail. So I believe there is no limit. I guess my journey has really shown me that. A lot of times I've spoken things into existence, like this moment right here we spoke about.
Facts.
So,
Facts. You speak with like a lot of conviction, and I can hear like the confidence in your voice and stuff like that. Where did that stem from, or where did you get your spark of confidence from?
For sure. Hasn't always been this way. I mean, I've been a confident person, but I think it's only human to sometimes have those moments of weakness or doubt or whatever. In my journey, I have a lot of my journey in the music game is been by myself and not had management.
Okay.
So I've had to take a lot of meetings by myself and show up to studio sessions by myself. And what I learned along the way is the more confident you speak, but genuine confidence in what you do, it affects other people. And those times where I added certain words of doubt in there, it resonated and people could feel that I was doubting myself, and would say it to me along the way. So I think it's just with experience and time, I've gotten to a point where I really know my worth and who I am as a person.
Facts. So take us back on like your life path, right? So take us back on your journey. How did you know that music was gonna be like your God-given like path to do,
For sure. So I actually have my childhood home tattooed on my arm for a reason, for that reason.
Right.
When I was about 9-10 years old, I remember my best friend said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And somehow from the gods above, I was given the visions in my head of like seeing arenas and seeing performing.
Facts.
And when I started music from a very young age, there was, I did music as a kid, then I stopped and then it came back. But at that beginning, it's like I felt like I found myself. And whenever I wasn't doing music, even as a kid or teenager, I just didn't really know who I was.
Yeah,
and
facts.
I really went off the rails. So,
Really?
excuse me, for me, I think it's just, it was really a God-given gift that I felt from
Wow.
a very young age.
Wow. So did you start off kind of like, how did you get your start? Like, did you start off just kind of like writing things down like as poetry, or did you start, doing, how did you get your start?
Yeah, it was a mix of stuff. So my older sister at the time, she no longer really does, but she sang and played guitar. And I was like, oh, I want to do that too. And my dad was always a person that brought music into my home.
Yeah,
Our
thanks.
family song was Stand By Me by Benny King.
Okay.
And so we'd be on like a family vacation. He'd pull out the pots and pans. My dad's crazy. He's a British guy and he's just like crazy rock star. And he'd pull out the pots and pans, start banging on the drums. My sister would play. And
Thanks.
I just love those moments that, when I would see that and then see music videos, I was like, you know what, I want to do this. So I don't know if I asked my parents or whatever, but I started in a music school and we were in like a pop rock band at first. So like all the like Blink-182, Green Day, that type of stuff.
I love Blink-182.
Yeah, for sure. And so the coach of the school wanted us all to learn every instrument, just even a little bit of it to understand music.
Thanks.
And he was a rock star too. It was cool. So I actually play the drums, bass, guitar, singing, everything.
Wow.
So it started with, I'd say guitar is my main thing now. Like, bass, I can pick up drums. I can still play a little bit, but that whole moment really taught me a lot about music. So it started there. Then I got around some b-boys when I was around 13, and I used to go to like b-boy ciphers and stuff in my hometown, and they would play hip hop for hours on end.
Dope.
So I'm hearing everything from KRS-One, Tribe Called Quest, like everything from then to now. So it's like I was just hearing rap on end, and it just made sense to my brain. I've self-diagnosed ADHD, I think, and the way that rap gets put together, it just really made sense for me. So I think those two main moments in my life really like started the wave. I wrote my first song when I was like 9, 10 years old on guitar.
Wow.
And won a couple talent competitions. I won a storytelling competition.
Right.
So I kind of knew it was there, but I used to just quietly write raps. And yeah, just like do what I did at that time that I could do, you know.
Dang, so you played, like, you fully play all of those instruments and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I've started producing now as of this year. So, and I've showed some of my big producer homies, and they're like, Sexton, what the fuck? Like, can I cuss on here?
Yeah,
I didn't check. Okay.
Yeah, it's good,
they were like, Sexton, what the fuck? Like, this is really good. So I've had a few joints mixed that I've kind of just tucked away. But yeah, where I'm fusing everything together. But yeah, you know, and it wasn't an easy run of like, oh, everyone believes in me and let's go. Like,
yeah, of course.
My hometown is 30 hours from here. Like, you have to jump on 3 planes to get home. So everyone was kind of like, give up on the dream, kid. It's you're delusional. Because I always said America. Like, I knew I had to come to America. I just
in order
felt
to do it.
Yeah, just on the level I'm trying to do it. You know, I have a lot more opportunity here. So when I got around that like high school mark, like a lot of people said, you know, give up on the dream, and that's where I kind of like went off the rails completely. I quit music completely and just went off the rails. Yeah.
Wow. Were you going through something mentally at that time? Like, because of course I can only imagine, like, when music is something or something that's you see and nobody else can see your vision because God gave you that vision.
For sure.
And you have people telling you, hey, give it up. You know what I mean? Like, what were you going through at that moment?
Yeah, I think my hometown is very different from the life I live now. And I felt very alienated and alone. I felt like I'm not supposed to be here, like in that city. And I felt like I just knew the dream was it for me, you know? So when everyone around me was like, no, and I was too young to know about, you know, the right mindset and manifestation, all of that. It really discouraged me. And, you know, my parents were going through their thing at the time. And like, you know, everything at once, I think just kind of like took me off track. So I was like skipping school, going hang around the wrong people, doing all partying by 13, 14, going crazy, you know, just doing a bunch of crazy stuff. So,
yeah, facts.
Yeah, but I was never happy after that moment. You know, it wasn't until I came back to music that I was like, this makes sense to me, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What's something about your journey that fans would be surprised to know?
Surprised to know that majority of it has been by myself. I have been in a foreign country for years, fighting for this dream, and I think I make things look well put together, that people think I have a full team and everything. But in fact, a lot of the way was having to, like when you found me on my top 10 hit, I had no management. You know, it's like people don't know those things. So I hope it inspires other people to really believe in yourself. When you don't have the help, you just got to keep pushing through, you know, till you find it.
Absolutely. So when you say, so you were doing everything from like booking, because I watched a quick reel that you made on your page. And you were doing like everything. You were your own management. You were, you know, producing and just doing what you had to do. I know that was pretty strenuous. Like, so how did you push through? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to having to put on that many hats, you know?
Yeah. I think, because I knew it was for me again. Like I knew somehow, some way it would work out. I've wanted to quit a million times.
Yeah, facts.
Because, you know, and it goes on another topic, but being a female in the industry, I've dealt with a lot of disrespect and a lot of terrible treatment from men that has taught me a lot along the way about how to demand respect and get your respect and everything. So I was dealing with that alongside trying to build this dream. So it was like a lot at once. It's been a lot of hard work. I've done 7 days a week grind for years. Often felt like, damn, is anyone ever going to really hear this on the level I want? You know, but I think what it was is the true faith of like, you know, faith is really believing in something before you see it. So it was like that, just really keeping that alive. And I felt like I was so deep in it that I had to get the final goal to make, you know, to work itself through. Absolutely. And I think being over here, a lot of people don't know, I don't have any family here. So I'm literally by myself. And I think just, you know, FaceTiming home and seeing their faces being like, nah, I got to make this work because I'm so far and I've missed out on, you know, people's lives for this. Like, I got to make this go through, you know, there's no choice. So I think that just that determination to keep it going and really believe that it will work out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's stay right there too as well. How do you handle your mental health while being in such a fast moving industry? How do you prioritize your mental health?
So I was bad at first at that. I was self-destructive because I was always very high achieving. So I always was focused on the next. That I would always like be hard on myself, like, man, it's not good enough, or you dropped the ball there, or whatever, which I think is a positive thing sometimes. But if you push it too far, then you know, I find a lot of artists will turn to drugs or turn to things to try to help themselves.
Absolutely.
For me, I, you know, hung around the wrong people, just like was drinking, smoking, just, you know, doing things where I wasn't actually stopping and being like, all right, let's clear this mind, let's clear this body, let's like get the toxins out and like really focus.
Facts.
And that starts with the people that are around you, you know, and then it starts with, like I learned a lot. In the pandemic is really when it really began for me. I learned, just got deeper into my spirituality and learned different Buddhist practices and read a book that a monk wrote and learned about meditation and yoga and eating high vibrational food. Taking a breath in the morning, like the second I wake up, I don't turn to my phone immediately. I try to take some time for myself. I trained my brain to say mantras. Like I learned all about that. And I remember this time in the pandemic, I had posted, I was in a really bad place. I was really depressed and I was really ready to quit. And I basically printed out and posted mantras all over my place. Like the arenas are right there if you believe it. The this is right there, whatever. And my friends came in like,
what the hell?
Bitch, are you okay? Like,
right.
What is going on? But when I would turn my back, I would see them pull out a camera like, and like post it because they were fire quotes, you know, some of the stuff was fire, but it did look crazy. One of a producer that was an ex-addict was like, yo, this looks like an addict's house. Like it was very crazy. But I will say after a month of reading them all, I took everything down and it had completely rewired my brain.
Wow.
Completely rewired. Everything you say, think, all that shit affects you. So to answer your question in summary, I take time every day, like even if it's just an hour, for me to like refocus that brain, because I've realized that this is the reason that I am now like more aligned and elevating at the fastest speed I have, because I've got this right. And I'm clear, like I'm very clear right now of toxins.
Yeah, facts. I saw another thing on your page that you did, and I was like, man, because my mom does this too as well. You were grounding, you were walking in grass without shoes on. And my mom does that every morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she says that resets her. And that keeps her grounded and stuff like that. So was that also something that you started doing too as well?
Yeah, nature was huge for me. So when I went on this whole little journey, I was living in LA, but I had kind of moved to an outer area just to kind of feel away from Hollywood, because I'd been so deep in music, and I started to make friends outside of the industry and tried to I got a little too far out that I had to pull myself back into the vibe as well. But there was a minute where like, I would go to this big park and walk. So for anyone watching that doesn't know what grounding is, you know, I don't have all the facts about it, but basically when you're walking barefoot, the earth like basically draws out toxins from your body and recharges your energy. And, you know, it's supposedly proven to work. And I will say I feel better. Yeah. I mean, even just getting the sun, we're supposed to get 20 minutes a day of vitamin D, and that boosts your mood, you know. So nature was a huge healer for me. And that goes back to my childhood in Australia, because Australia is a very nature-driven place. Like a lot of people, if you were in Australia right now, like guys, adult men sometimes walk barefoot in the mall. Like it's like, yes, people walk barefoot sometimes. Like it's that connected to the beach, the sand. People are just don't give a fuck and they're with nature, you know? So it's very different. So yeah, nature was a big thing for me. And like, I don't ground enough, but when I do remember to do it, I do it. You know?
Nah, facts. I got a question for you. Has fame and visibility ever made you feel misunderstood?
Yeah, 100%. I've had hate trains when I've done certain freestyles.
Hate trains.
Hate trains.
For like, people that don't know what hate trains are, what is hate trains?
My definition of it is basically where it starts with hate. I believe you need hate and love to break. So it's like everything in life is like yin and yang. You know, if I took you to a restaurant right now, you might like it, you might not, you know, but I love it, and we're all going to have different opinions. But I call a hate train something that starts with like a lot of hate, and then the love and everything comes in it, but it's just like fueled with this like specific anger and like trigger in there. But the thing is about me is I understand the internet, and I know how to troll and trigger people. So even in my rap, some things I wouldn't have said if it was just a song, but because I know it's a rap, and I'm, you know, I might want the freestyle to go viral because more fans come in, I'll purposely say things that I know are going to trigger people. So with that comes a lot of noise in those moments, which I know is only going to get bigger, but I feel like I've been understood my whole life. But yes, on the internet, absolutely. People watch a 1 minute clip and they go, oh, white girl from Australia is trying to rap, whatever ethnicity. I'm not boxing this into it. I've had every single ethnicity say this, you know, and then I've had all types of walks of life, think they know who I am and have something to say. And yeah, I think it's one of those moments where you have to go, okay, it's the internet. It's the internet. Who cares?
Thanks.
The way, and this might help someone out there as well, if you're ever dealing with comments on the internet that might upset you. I just always remember the lowest points in my life, and none of those people were there. So if I overcame those moments
Facts.
by myself, none of that shit matters.
Facts,
It
facts,
really
facts.
does not matter. To me, what
Facts.
matters is people around me that are in my close circle of family.
Yeah, absolutely.
I care about those people because they know me for real. You know?
Facts. You got a bold image and an unapologetic voice. Has the industry ever tried to tone you down or mold you into something that you're not?
Yes. So my talent, the versatility is a blessing and a curse. Blessing because I can adapt to, I feel, any genre of music. Almost every genre, let's say. I'm sure someone's creating some whole new genre right now. Right. But in that, I feel like certain business executives along the way have projected their version of what they want me to be on me. Mm-hmm. And a phrase that really is so ignorant to me is when people say, that's not you. How can you tell me what I am?
Right.
If it's coming out of my mouth, it's a part of me,
Facts.
And I think, so in those moments, I had to kind of take lead because I'd be working with them or be signed to certain people or whatever it was along the way that I kind of had to take lead. And, I was still growing. So it's like, well, this person's had success. Maybe I should listen. Like, maybe they know. So, for example, there was a moment where I built a lot of followers very quick by doing rap freestyles consistently on the net while releasing music. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I got this big buzz and then like Chris Brown found me and like shouted me out, I was just rolling like with followers. In came all these execs and friends and producers like, yes, X, that's cool, but that ain't it. You need to be doing this type of stuff like a Billie Eilish or a Halsey or a Taylor Swift or a this or a female MGK or a female, but it was like a forced thing. And it's like, hang on, but like this is working.
If
like
this is
people
working, then
like
that
this.
is,
Like why are we stripping it of everything different? There already is one of them and one of them and one of them. Then people you're saying. So yes, it's happened many times. It's been very noisy in my brain, very confusing, very, very confusing.
Yeah.
But I think at times I wish I hadn't listened sometimes, but it's all part of it.
It's all part of it. It's part of growth and everything.
I do want to do different vibes, but right now I'm really in my melodic and rap bag.
And
that's
stay
where
there.
I want to be.
Stay there. If that's where you want to be, stay
That's
there.
where I want to be right now.
Facts. Let's go back because I know earlier in the conversation you said you have been disrespected, like, by men in the industry and stuff like that. So I have a question about disrespect. Have you ever felt disrespected as a woman in the industry, either creatively or professionally?
Yes, both, many times. Can't even count them on two hands. Many times. Wow. I have felt every form of abuse, emotional, psychological, not physical, but almost sexual assault, a form of it in a studio when I was very naive and unaware of how the industry works when I first moved to America. But fortunately, I got myself out of there before anything serious happened. Yeah,
absolutely.
And learned after that. I had to move differently. But yeah, for sure. I mean, for years, I would go to meetings to work with producers that I thought wanted to work with me, and they were there for. I'd get ready and be excited for the session. Walk in there like, so why aren't we dating? And I just feel like those type of questions should be set up front rather than wasting people's time of coming down to the studio. And that's just a small thing. I mean, it's gotten to the point of threats and all types of crazy stuff, people closing doors, and it got evil. But I'll just keep it kind of PG for today.
Yeah,
but a lot of levels of me getting all kinds of crazy shit on my phone. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think people took advantage, especially if I let them close enough to me to be aware that I was by myself, they took advantage of that. They knew I was a girl in the industry by myself. And I know and look, everyone has their struggle. Guys have their struggle too. I'm just speaking from my story, which is, yes, absolutely. I mean, majority of the music industry is men.
Yeah,
let's be real. So it really took me, for anyone watching that needs inspiration, you just got to build your worth.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
The second I got Space, my hit song, everything changed, and I will say, just if one city doesn't work, move around. So for me in LA, I wasn't growing. I then took a flight to Detroit and Atlanta and started building in other cities, and it was like flooding, everyone wanted to work. It was a totally different vibe. So
absolutely,
just go where the love's at, and know your worth and know when to leave. Don't stay in situations that make you uncomfortable. Always trust your instinct, you know?
Facts. Let's talk about Space. You know, how did that song come about? You know, because I know, I'm on your page, I'm watching.
For sure.
So you were bouncing around to different studios, and how did you link up with TK? And, you know, how did y'all have that chemistry to make a hit song like that on the spot?
For sure. A lot of moving parts, a lot of people, and, you know, people in this game tend to get upset if names are left out, so I'll try my best to tell this story. It was me in the studio, like I said, at that moment, coming to Atlanta, a lot of people wanting to work with me, and I was in one particular session, and I don't know exactly the ins and outs, but basically TK's brother, Exotic, walked in the room.
Shout out to Exotic.
Yeah, and so Chris, Exotic, basically heard my music and was like, yo, you're a superstar, like, you should work with my brother. I'm like, who's your brother? He's like, TK Kravitz. I'm like, oh, let's do it. So basically, we went to the studio that night, but we actually didn't work that night. We just all vibed out, had drinks, whatever. We set up the session for the next day, and we came in, and basically 4 producers made the beat, and they built it on the spot. And then me and TK just went back and forth. We record the same way, at least at that moment we were. So he would go in the booth and freestyle. He started the hook. I finished the hook. He did his verse. We got back in the hook. I did my verse. So he wrote his part. I wrote my part. And we just went back and forth, just like in the booth, bouncing around.
That chemistry was crazy.
Man, we did it so fast too, you know? It felt like 30 minutes. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but yeah, I think just our tones together, the way we were flowing, we must have both been going through similar situations.
Facts.
Mine was like my man at the time had just cheated, and I'm like, don't play with me, like, hold on, I might need some space here. It's like, you know, the whole verse was playing around. And actually, CeeLo had just had that video come out where he had a Samsung and it exploded.
Oh, CeeLo. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
remember?
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the clip where it exploded. That's why I said my phone been blowing up like Samsung 7. Yeah, because I had just seen that clip, and I'm like, okay, boom. So I just said it.
That's dope. I remember when I first seen that clip. I played that shit back probably like 30 times. Like the first.
Which one?
It was like y'all was in the studio.
Oh yeah.
It was like y'all were in there recording the song, just vibing out, and I played that clip back and back and back.
Shout out Chaos.
Before the song came out.
Yeah. So what happened is our boy Chaos was in the studio, and he picked up the camera and just filmed it.
Damn.
And then TK posted it to Twitter, and that's when all of the like, yo, what's this? Who's the girl? What's this? Da da da. Like all those. Yeah. So that's where it really started, is Twitter.
Facts. That's dope. That's dope. What's a decision in your career that people didn't understand at the time, but turned out to be the best move for you?
The first thing that comes to mind is dyeing my hair orange. That was one moment for me.
Okay.
I had just got out of a label deal. I was released, and I just got out of a breakup. I just gone through so much. I was like, I need something different to just kind of like, you know, get my followers up. I had like 25,000 followers at the time. And I was like, I'm going to dye my hair orange. And everyone's like, are you crazy? That shit's going to look so bad. Orange? Like, why would you do orange? And so I was like, nah, I'm doing it. I did it. And I was going viral so much just off my hair.
Damn.
The number of people that were finding me just off my hair. You know, 4 months later, I had 100,000 followers from there. Like,
off of your hair?
No, not just the hair.
No. Plus
that
the
would
music
be great.
too.
But the music too. But yeah, but the hair was what people kept saying. I found your hair. I found your hair. So, since then, Ice Spice dyed her hair orange too, which, you know, I'm not saying I created that. I'm just saying I'm not going back to it, because that's her thing now, you know, so it's all good.
Nah, dope. Looking back on where you started, what's the most significant milestone that reminded you, like, man, I really made it?
I think the Billboard with Space. There's a number of them. I've done some pretty cool shit in my time, but I would say Space because, you know, I got a phone call from DJ Charisma, shout out to her in California, and she called me from 92.3 and was like, hey girl, I'm about to play Space on the radio in LA. So I was in LA at the time, and to know that I flew across the world by myself, I had no one to call when I got to America to help me in the game, and to know I entered LA, that big ass city, and then I was about to be played on radio was crazy to me. You know, crazy. So that moment right there, I was in my car, I'm still got the video. I was like, oh my God.
Nah, that's dope.
Crazy.
Man, that's dope. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I have a slogan that I always say, purpose over popularity. When I say that slogan, how can you mirror that around your journey?
Yeah. There were moments of popularity that I had that didn't feel good to me. For example, actually, this is a good one. I always try to promote not getting too sexy, like for me personally, because I think that comes with an energy. So some women want that, right?
Right.
But I didn't want that. I always wanted my talent to be first. So if people go look up the Space video, I actually had pants and a tee. I was like dressed like fully covered because I wanted to prove to myself I could make it off my talent, you know?
Yeah, facts.
And then there was a time where I was really struggling in, you know, some business situations and just musically where I was getting frustrated. So I started posting sexier pictures. And I think it got me followers and attention, but the wrong stuff for me personally, like what I want for my music brand.
Yeah, facts.
So I had to get back to my purpose, which is, you know, my whole message behind my brand, Raw, and like everything. I mean, we can go into it, but
yeah,
that I had to get back to that purpose, and I feel so much better now. It's like I'm not saying don't be sexy, but it's like, you know, what I wanted for my brand. It's like it has to lead with a certain thing. So,
yeah, absolutely. Nah, that's dope. That's dope. So can you explain your name? Like, you know what I'm saying? How did you come up with your name? It's a statement. What does it really mean to you? And how does it, you know, kind of like, how does it, I guess, signify your identity?
So I wish I had a great story for you. My father gave it to me. It's my last name.
Oh, okay.
Sexton is my last name. Stephanie is my first. And people just started calling me Sexton, Sex. And I was like, you know what? And it was the whole thing. Like a lot of guys in the game are like, you got to get your body done. You need to sex it up. You need to be promiscuous. I was like, you want sex? It's in my name. So I just kind of just went with Sexton.
Facts.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Have you ever sacrificed a part of yourself to survive in this game? And like when you look back,
Sacrificed a part of myself to survive in this game.
and it could be like mentally. It doesn't have to be like physically. But have you ever sacrificed anything like to survive?
Oh yeah, for sure. When you say that, when you said mentally, that triggered a lot. Yeah, I feel like I've missed a lot of life experiences that I would have had I not been in this industry. For example, a lot of the time I've chosen, you know, periods of time where I wouldn't date or I wouldn't. You know, turn down a lot of parties or friendships or travel, people taking trips, my family, you know, memories, I would say, and life experiences. But I feel like I've been able to experience other stuff that people always say, wow, that's so cool, you know? So I think everyone has their thing. But yeah, I would say mentally, I think there's moments where I was like, damn, I was there for that, you know, birthday of my dad's or like, you know, stuff like that. Family stuff is crazy because I watch my family grow older on FaceTime, like the kids, my sibling, you know, so it's like, it's a weird experience that you just make a call when someone looks older, you know? So,
right. Do you miss being back home though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I know America is like, you know, it's a lot to do or whatever. You always dream to come over here. But do you ever miss like being back home? Like, you know, and the life you had before you came here?
For sure. So I deal with anxiety based off things I've gone through in the industry.
Absolutely.
And moments of high anxiety, when I go back home, it's complete peace. I do certain things. I'm around certain people. So there's a peace in my hometown, Perth, that I haven't felt anywhere else in the world. So there's a peace there and, you know, the people my family. But outside of that, I wouldn't say I miss it, no, because I couldn't have the opportunities of things I can do here. And like you said, there's different things here to back home. I just wish everything was closer, you know, like people that live in Atlanta and their family in Florida, like that would be way easier, you know, more so like that. But no, I don't want to move back or anything at this point in time.
Yeah, facts. What brings you like ultimate peace, joy, and fulfillment besides music? But like what just brings you peace, you know?
I like laughing a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I like being around people that make me laugh. And like,
you're a Gemini?
Yeah, I'm a Gemini.
I remember you say, okay.
I'm a Gemini. Yeah, I like good food. I like to cook. I like eating good food and just like being around people that good vibes. Like I can't be around bad vibes. I can't be around fake vibes. So it's just, honestly, it's people, conversation, laughing, and traveling. Like I would say.
Facts. What's your favorite thing to eat?
I've been on like a little oxtail kick because I got this Jamaican spot around the corner from me. Yeah,
okay,
and I didn't grow up with Jamaican food, you know. So
I never had oxtails.
You haven't?
Yeah, I don't eat.
Oh, you eat meat?
Like, yeah, I eat fish.
Are you vegan or pescatarian?
Well, to be honest, man, I just didn't grow. I just didn't grow up on it. Like my parents never like, you know, raised me on like red meat or anything like that. Although we're from Louisiana, like you know, I just never had it. I always had like fish and stuff. So I don't know what a hamburger tastes like. I don't know what steak, nothing tastes like.
That's a good thing too, though, because you know they do say that's the most unhealthy meat to eat. I don't know, but for me, I tried to be vegan vegetarian for a while. I lasted about 10 months, and my body just couldn't process what I was eating. Maybe one day I'll go back to that. But yeah, like I try to eat as healthy as I can. I try to eat very little animal meat when I can. But yeah, oxtail is like the meat like falls off the bone.
It smells good as hell. My girl
The
be eating
seasoning and the
oxtail. I'm
cold.
like, damn,
Yeah.
good. Nah, for
Yeah,
sure,
no,
for sure.
it is.
If you can go back and tell your younger self anything, what would it be and why?
Trust your vision. I can't change what was. I feel like it all made me a better artist and person and businesswoman. But I wish I had trusted my vision more because I think I would have, reached goals perhaps quicker. But maybe then I wouldn't have been prepared for it. So I would just say trust your vision.
Nah, dope. Yeah, so like, man, damn, this is like surreal because again, like I wanted you to come 2024 and now having you here, like it's crazy how the world works
It's
and how
so
the universe
crazy.
works. Yeah, that's dope.
It is really, I've spoken so much out into existence
Facts.
like that's happened. It's
dope.
been really crazy. I remember one time I said like, oh, I want to work with these 3 people. And literally in 1 week, I had a feature from all 3 of those people. It was fucking crazy.
That's dope.
Crazy.
Let's talk about the music now.
For sure.
Like, let's talk. Like, so you have a new single out, or what?
Yes.
What are we working?
Okay, so just dropped a song You Dig with Trippie Redd. It's on YouTube and SoundCloud. That's already out.
Shout out Trippie, man.
Yeah, shout out Trippie. He's another Gemini too.
I like his music too.
Yeah, and so I'm into the fusion stuff too. The like, where artists cross back and forth. But yeah, I'm about to drop FTT. So it's Fuck They Think, but we made it PG for streaming platforms. It's me and Fat Trell from DC.
Okay, Fat Trell.
So yeah,
Okay.
so it's a rap single, and it's coming out May 23rd.
Okay.
And basically it was just started from like hearing somebody I was working with get a phone call about me and someone was talking shit, like just trying to,
thanks.
oh shit, blah, 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 whatever, right?
Thanks.
And I just happened to be like stepping into being on the mic, so I decided to write a song about like I don't give a fuck what the fuck they think. Like
Yeah,
it's at
facts.
that point where it's like you've just been through so much shit and you've heard so much shit
Mm-hmm.
that what matters in life is who you are. If you know you're a good person, you move with good intention.
Mm-hmm.
This industry is like high school. Everyone's going to talk, say their thing, and a lot of the times when people have spoken badly about me, it's because they didn't get my body, money, control, something they wanted from me, and I didn't give it to them, and so they turn mad. And that's what I go back to the male thing in the industry. Some of these egos are like really weak, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit. So anyway, long story short, I wrote the song. He was in the next room. We were recording at the same studio house, and he heard the song through the walls, I guess. Came in and was like, yo, what's up? Like, I'm sure whatever. We got introduced. And then he was like, this shit's hard as fuck. You know, so I think it was like a few days later, I remember we were back there again, and I was like, yo, you want to hop on this? So he hopped on it, and it was all just like really organic. So
That's dope.
so that's
dope.
coming up. Then I'm working with my boy, Casey Beat Monster.
Man, that's
and-
my brother, man.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to KC, man.
KC.
We
So-
started this shit together.
Yeah,
man. So,
he did tell me that he worked with you. So, Casey and he actually produced on Space. If you don't know that, he doesn't tell a lot of people that he was one of the guys on Space.
KC was on Space.
Yes.
Why doesn't he?
He just doesn't say his credits. He was one of the 4 producers on Space. And yeah, so we started with that. We actually started before Space together with a song called Loyal that I ended up re-releasing a different version of Loyal later. But we knew each other. He was like probably the first Atlanta producer I worked with. A DJ from the Coalition, shout out Mark G in Detroit, gave me Casey's beats back before Space while I was in Detroit.
Facts.
So me and Casey are working on new joints, and I've got 2 more like straight rap records, but something just unlocked last week, and I just like leveled up my pen even harder. So yeah, I got
go.
some crazy shit coming.
Let's
so
go.
I'm really happy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Before we get out of here, I got a question. With the weight of the world on your shoulders, success at the palm of your hands, how do you respond when adversity knocks at your door?
Embrace it. Embrace it and let the pressure push me, but not let me self-destruct.
Facts.
Push me to elevate further. I have a saying, stay elevated. And it basically means to all my fans or whoever listening, just stay elevated above whatever negative things that are trying to pull you down or put pressure on you. You just got to stay, keep rising above it. Stay
facts,
elevated.
Facts.
You know?
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Thank you again for coming
Thank
to
you for
vibe with
having me. I'm glad
Real
this
shit.
worked out.
Nah, I'm glad this worked out, man.
Yeah.
So this segment of the show is Vibing with Vito. Shout outs. The floor is yours.
This is where I hate shout outs because I always forget somebody and somebody feels some type of way. I should just
shout out
I would just
anybody.
blanket it.
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever supported
go.
me,
Let's
ever
go.
shown love, I appreciate you all. The
Thanks.
universe, my dog Happy, Ruben for setting this up. Like,
Yeah, I saw your dog,
know.
your dogs and stuff like that on your page.
I got a Frenchie.
Okay,
He's a
yeah,
cool Frenchie,
okay.
though.
Who was the dog you just took? Like it was.
I'm dead. That's my friend's dog.
He looked tired.
He was hot. It was hot yesterday. No, that's my friend's dog.
Okay, for sure, man. Thank you again for coming to vibe with me.
For sure.
Hopefully you can come
Shout
back
out.
soon. That's what's up.
Follow, subscribe, like, all that good.
Yeah, facts. Thank you
Yeah,
for real.
of
for real.
course.
Tell the
Thank
people
you.
where they can find you.
Yeah, Sexton, all streaming platforms, all social media. Come follow me. I reply to DMs when I see them. Please send me a message. I'd love to hear from you.
Facts. Hey, man, this has been another episode of Vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. You already know the slogan. We vibrating higher. And check us out each and every Monday at 8 o'clock on the Big Facts Network, man. Let's go, man. Shout out to the family. We gone.